just like you're like under like my butt is in the kitchen. You're like you got my cheeks on the seat.
Alrighty, kids. How's everybody doing?
Great.
We have enough food today?
I think so.
We didn't have one sponsor of breakfast. We had two. So lots of food, lots of food. Lots of stuff to cover. I'm going to try to do it quick because we really want to talk to these gals over here. Okay? We want to pepper them with lots of questions, right? Isn't there a question that you've always wanted to ask an escrow officer, but we're afraid to ask them? Today is the day that you can ask them, okay? But before we do that, there they are, okay? Laura's not here. She's having a baby. Not today, but soon, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, her last day is the 5th of August. So
oh, okay.
sometime in
Like to
August.
have it today, let's
Okay.
Brad.
There you go. Brad couldn't make it, okay? And we don't have this gal's photo up there, and we'll tell you that why in a minute.
I'll take that for you.
Yeah, well, that's the secret guest here, you know? Okay, next week, this is going to be a real good one. John did this in the Northwest, I think, a couple of months ago, Green Valley. It's a really cool buyer consultation presentation. Eduardo's an agent in Arizona. And credit repair, okay? So make sure you
San Diego.
California, okay, with Realty One Group, okay? He has a really cool, 30-minute or less buyer presentation that you can all get something out of. So make sure you come next week. Today at noon, if you want to hang out, a lot of us are taking the Lee Dreisen one credit CE class.
What's the topic?
Let's go with probate,
Probate.
okay? We're going to go with probate today, okay? How to take a listing if the property if probate is involved. So very common, it's happening a lot. So I'm going to be in this class, so come have some food. Well, there's going to be no food. We have enough food, okay? Sue's found this from our friends in Florida. Oh, well, okay, but it's the same. Where is yours in here? Okay, anyway. We have Wine Down Wednesday, right? We have Wine Down Wednesday,
On the 6th.
right? We're gonna have Mimosa Mondays.
I'm like, that one I need to go. I'm down Wednesday.
Mimosa Mondays, 9 o'clock, a little champagne and orange juice, and yeah. When do we do it? Yeah, let's do it at 9 o'clock.
Bus trip to Florida.
But, well, all right. We're not going to Destin, Florida, guys, okay?
I'm like,
We're not going to Florida.
It's a
We're
buyer,
taking
but it's
half
not
the bus
in
load
Florida.
because we need to pump the champagne into the bag.
Yes, yeah, all right, moving right along.
Monday, August 11th is the first day of school. Drop your kids off at school and come have lunch.
That's right.
Oh, I have August 11th.
In addition to mimosa, there could be a shot of vodka, tequila, green tea. There could be a bunch of shots, so, okay? I gave this to all you guys that's sitting out there. I'll talk more about this in a minute, but there's supposed to be a meeting today down at LVR with all this stuff going on with the bylaws and the president and the board of directors. Hopefully you got an email last night because I know you all wait for those LVR emails to open them up, right? Okay, so this email came the other day about that meeting, that it's live and on Zoom. And then 8 o'clock last night, this email came saying, nah, it's not going to be live. No, we're just going to do it on Zoom. So it's only going to be on Zoom.
Oh, my God.
How many people show up there today?
Yeah. I would recommend, Google your email for that. I put it up here. Google bylaws, vote update, blah, 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 and you get these emails. And the email that was last night, they canceled the live voting or the live town hall. Why do you think they canceled it?
Controversy.
Yeah.
They're going to be fighting.
For the safety of the LVR employees. Oh my God, great. Just what we need. So that'll be in the paper tomorrow. There'll be an article about that tomorrow in the paper. Yeah, so anyway, so that's what that is. Pedro's not here, but he was our rising star as a mentee last month. We don't have Pedro's photo yet. I'm not sure. Pedro's a little shy, but we don't have a photo of Pedro yet. Here's some quick numbers. The only thing that jumps out at me with the numbers is we have 10,000 properties, but we only have 1,300 sales, and we have a week left. So the closings are a little quiet. So any idea why? Are buyers not making offers? Are sellers? Hey, that's my phone, guys. It's hooked up to that speaker, sorry.
Is it the interest rate plus the economic instability?
Economic instability, Carrie, look at you.
I know.
Look at you. Economic instability. I like that.
Took her Flintstone.
She did. Wow. Wow. It could be. It could be. I don't know. Okay. But it's the summer. Summer's usually kind of quiet, so it's July. Okay. You're going to be excited about this, of course. August is your E&O insurance. So if you're paying us $100 a month, you're going to pay us a little bit more. If you're paying us $50 a month, you're going to pay us a little bit more because E&O is due. Okay. So keep that in mind. So that's our QR code to this digital calendar that you really can't see, but I just wanted to get a look at it. Please click on that. Tim Sams and Heather did a great job creating this.
I just updated events on there too.
Did you?
It's up to date.
All right. How do I turn off my phone so it doesn't ring in that speaker? What do I do? I thought I did.
Yeah, you could turn your Bluetooth off.
Good idea. I like that. Okay, let's do that real quick. As you can see, our computer is down a little bit. So we're kind of rigging it up here. But it's a really cool digital calendar. Access it. You could RSVP for classes. There's going to be no more printed calendar. So we're trying to go a little modern here, gang, okay?
You can go to onerockstars.com and it's right on there under live calendars.
OneRockstars.com? Perfect.
Yeah,
Okay.
in addition to the QR code.
Perfect. Okay. Rev Up. I don't know who's here for Rev Up. I don't think Ryan might still take Rev Up if he wants. Anna. I see Sam. Okay. Rev Up is still taking place. Tomorrow is number 4, the RPA that I do. So if you want a little refresher on the RPA, hop on Zoom at 9 o'clock. Okay. How many of you taken some of these CE classes with Matthew? Has any of you come on? Really good stuff, right? Really good. Me and Maria were in there yesterday. He's doing 2 more in August. They're free, and they're the important classes. You know, ethics, law, agency. So I would recommend taking these. If you even if your CE isn't due for next year, get them done. I mean, if you're in the office, sit here for 3 hours and get the credits. Mike Calvert did a class on Tuesday. I think me and Maria were in that one also for solar. He's doing another solar one in August. If a client asks you about the big, beautiful bill, not that I'm getting into politics, and they say, what about solar? How does it affect solar? Does anyone know, or what would you say?
Google it.
Google it, ChatGPT it, okay. But what do you guys know, is it good for or bad for solar? Who thinks
No
it's,
more incentives, right?
yeah, it's not good for solar. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good.
But
you
as
know?
an agent, they should tell them to Google.
That's what I'm saying. You got to be careful. You don't want to poo-poo on your buyer, your seller that wants to put solar on the roof. Okay, you just want to let them know that the tax credits are going away, but solar still might be a good idea based on your situation. Okay. What else we got here? Onboarding August 6th. I'm looking around. Sam Pruitt will be on that. Everyone say hello to Samantha Pruitt. She's brand new. She just came here today. She's very shy. She's not thrilled that I introduced her, but hey, Sam is here. Okay. Sam will be on this, I'm sure, August 6th. Those of you who have never been on onboarding, Jeff does a 2.5-hour class, and you get to meet all the Rock Title folks. Well, not all the Rock Title folks.
Me.
Heather. Heather. And you get to meet Dave. You get to meet John. So August 6th, if you want to jump on this gang, you all need to go to the MLS Tech Forum. You really need to go. It's $40. It's at the Orleans, I think. Right? Is it the Orleans, Carrie? Is that the Orleans, I think?
The Sunset.
The Sunset, well, one of the station casinos. It's an all-day affair from like 10 to 4, but if you want to learn about MLS and how it works, you need to go.
Oh yeah, that's Orleans.
There's a lot of booths. Century Lock will have a booth. Matrix will have a booth. Title companies will have a booth. Warranty companies will have a booth. It's really a fun day. Your $40 gets reimbursed to you, I think, if you go. No, it doesn't. Never mind. That's the general membership luncheon. That you get that money back if you want it. Here, it's $40, but you should go. It's a really good class. We talked about this one more time in August, Women's Expo. If any of you want to rent a table, one of the radio stations are doing this. Okay, so all the info is in the handout. All right, gang. Rates are getting a little bit the same. I think. I don't know. It's been a while, okay. But John Morgan's been on a trek lately, going to offices, buying food, doing Wind Down Wednesdays, doing CE classes. So here he is, John Morgan, everybody. Yay!
Green Valley was a good party last night. Sarah was there. Yeah.
How did you say yeah?
It was cool. Finally, they showed up. There's a couple here or there, but last night was a full house. It was good. Wind down here on the 6th, so it's always the first Wednesday. So hopefully you guys can show up for that. They really are fun. The stories you hear in those things, you getting to know people at different levels is pretty fun. So show up to those. We're doing a Mortgage 101 class on the 6th as well at 11 a.m. So that one we're going to dive into not just the basics, but some creative stuff, some stuff you may not have known about. And I guarantee you, if you have buyers on the fence that are struggling getting qualified, you're going to have some questions to ask them and probably get them in the game after this class. So there's always different ways to get people qualified. I go by, if they can afford the mortgage payment, I've got a product to put them in and they can get a house. So come to that. But ultimately, I just want to thank you guys. You know, you guys, Vegas as a whole for Epic has been epic, right? So production through the roof. You guys are leading the pack by far. Like Arizona, California, their numbers aren't even close to what Vegas is doing. And I want to thank you guys for trusting me with your clients. I see a lot of you that I'm working with. We're in contract, or I got leads going, or we've closed. So again, thank you guys for that. And I don't want to take up too much time. So see you at Wind Down and Mortgage 101.
Rates coming down in September.
They might announce something here soon, but ultimately when they announce it, we'll see some reaction in the market and the rates will come down a little bit. They usually price in the cut before, if they are gonna cut, so we'll see that stuff before it actually happens.
Is there a meeting coming up for the Fed? I'm trying to remember. Do you remember when it is?
6 weeks they
Is it?
meet.
Okay. Okay.
But I think October's probably the last chance for Powell to really make a cut and hang his hat on it and
Okay.
before he gets out of there. So they would announce that in September.
Got it. Okay, cool.
Cut, though.
All righty. John Morgan, everybody. Woo-hoo. Okay, and you all should know, we all remember Phil Whalen. We love Phil.
Yep.
Phil was the owner of Win Home Inspection. He sold it for $1 zillion to this guy in the back. I'm only kidding. But ladies and gentlemen, say hello to David Gelliver, everybody. Come on down, Dave. Dave's the new owner of Win Home Inspection.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So I've been a home inspector since 2016. I've worked with Phil for about a year before I bought the company from him. So any of you that have been working with the company have probably met me before. We still have TAL, so pretty much everything is basically the same as it was before. Same level of customer service, same level of experience in the field. The ability to deal with all kinds of issues that come up, having done lots of inspections, allows us not just to be good at actually performing inspections, but also issues like when you have a troublesome seller or a really nervous client. You can know for sure when you have us come out that we've dealt with that hundreds of times. Together between me and TAL, we've probably done 3,000 inspections plus. So definitely have run into almost every situation that could come up, whether the seller is following me around and saying, I'm not gonna fix that, it was like that when I bought the house, or whether the client wants to ask questions about every little nick on the floor and is concerned about everything. Definitely something that we've experienced and dealt with. We still offer the same basic services that we did with Phil. Re-inspections, 10 items or less is no charge. I have brought the price of thermal imaging down from 95 to 60, which I've seen spike a lot more people willing to spend the 60 as opposed to the 95. I do think thermal imaging is an important thing to add. We provide an entirely separate report with the thermal imaging, which explains a little bit more about how it works, so it makes people feel a little bit more comfortable. It helps you find a lot of issues that might not turn up with the blind eye. Now, if the client didn't want to pay for it and I see some really questionable issue, I'll still take out a thermal imager and check it. We're not going to not do it at all because they didn't pay. We try to help people out. And as far as that, really, I'd say just really happy to be here and glad to have continued on what Phil started and to work with all you guys. I'm happy to have met all you that I have met and hope to work with some of you that I haven't really had a chance with yet. And thank you very much for your time.
And you guys do pool, roof, all that?
Pool, roof,
everything?
thermal imaging. We don't do sewer scopes.
Okay.
I've been looking into it. I don't get asked about it a lot, and it's a very expensive undertaking to start. You gotta go take a 2-week class.
Okay.
But I'm looking at it. I've been getting asked, for some reason that's becoming a more popular thing to get asked. Mold inspections, I'm actually a certified mold inspector, but we don't do them, but I'm really looking into starting that something too. But yes, roof, pool, thermal imaging, and then we do have a pest inspection company that works with us. So you can order pest inspections just right when you order the home inspection, and then it just all happens at the same time.
Then when it comes to, say, the properties and as well and septic, that's separate, right?
That's typically
That's a
separate,
whole
yeah.
different- yeah, okay.
Usually we would recommend that you have like a specialized well or septic company come out. Pahrump, we're out there, but I want to say between Sandy Valley and Pahrump, it's maybe 1 out of every 100 inspections. So it's again one of those things that just well and septic don't come up enough where it's usually if you're gonna buy a house that has those things, you're best off to have a company that, you know, you work with that does your septic checkups on a regular basis anyway. So a lot of the times, rather than having the home inspector check it, it is best to have a company that comes out and deals with it for you, so.
Dave, quick question.
Yeah.
So if one of our agents make an offer and we put in Win Home Inspection and the seller's going to pay for it and they agree to it, so we get the paperwork back, we send it over to Kathleen and we open escrow,
Yeah.
and we represent the buyer. What do you want them to do to set up the home inspection with you? Do they call you? Do they go to the website? Do they?
You can go to our website and schedule it online, or we have an office. I have my business cards out there. Our phone number is 645-541. I have an office there available Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. And then on the weekends, I do answer the phones. Not quite the same 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. on the weekends, but I do monitor the phones and answer them and try to text people back. And just mostly, like if you're calling, trying to schedule an inspection, I'd be like, hey, just text me, you know, the client info and stuff, and I'll get you on the schedule. But as far as that, I mean, we don't bill through escrow. But I
Right.
mean, with termite inspection, sometimes it does come up where the seller has to pay for the termite inspection, though. So yeah.
Right. So we call you up. You schedule it for Monday at 2.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Either on the website or on the phone, and then you guys send an email to the buyer for them to pay
Yes,
for
when
it.
it gets
Right.
scheduled, a couple of minutes later, an email goes out to the buyer, which is the confirmation email, and then, you know, there's the price, the billing, the ability to pay and get it all set up. But it also goes out to the agent.
Okay.
If you want it to go, it can go to the seller's agent as well. But yeah, so it gets sent out so that everybody knows, yeah, that the
Okay.
inspection has been elicited, and then it gives you a chance to sign the agreement and get all set up.
And it's scheduled for Monday at 1, and the buyer wants to attend the inspection.
Yeah, no
How does
problem.
that work?
The buyer can show up on the block if they want to.
You're excited, I could tell, huh? You know?
I typically prefer if the buyer shows up at least give me 20 or 30 minutes. If they really want to be there at the beginning.
Or
they
even
can
like
be
the
there at
last
beginning.
half hour, if it's 2 to 10,
Yeah.
I'll say like go the last half hour.
I find, you know, it used to be more that I find more lately that a lot of people are showing up right at the beginning, which is fine. I usually am one of those home inspectors that tries to show up about 20 minutes early. If it's occupied and people are home and it's a smaller house, I might park around the corner, but I try to be there so that the client doesn't ever beat me. It's like my goal to never have the client beat me there. It's happened once or
That's
twice.
because
in
that must
the-
have happened one time.
Yeah. Well, also, you know, when you're flying the drone, it's very annoying when you draw the crowd of people that all want to watch the drone. I try to get there and get that stuff
Yeah.
done, so that when the client shows up, even if it's at the beginning, I like to have my tools on my shoulder and be working, not just getting out of my car. I mean, if that's what it is, that's what it is. It doesn't make me mad, but it's,
Gotcha.
you know, I mean, I'm willing, you know, helping the client is just probably, to me, customer service is just as much important as inspecting the house, and you gotta take care of the person. If that's what they want, that's what they want, we deal with it. But if I was being asked what I prefer, at least like 20 to 30 minutes after the start, so I'm working in there when they show up. It's easy to go back and discuss what you've already found. You know, it's pretty easy to go through with that. So, but whatever the client wants in the long run is what
Gotcha.
I'll work with. So.
Okay. Anybody? Questions? Jude?
Dave did 2 of my inspections a few weeks ago. He was awesome. My client is first time, very scared. We were there the whole time. We didn't bother him, but he was amazing and answered my client's questions and very pleased, so.
Thank you.
Nice.
Appreciate
Good
it.
stuff. Yeah. Okay.
And I give a few names and they chose you, so it's great.
Very nice. Good stuff.
to work with you, for sure. It's
We're all good? Anybody else?
Recognized you as soon as you walked in.
Judy's, Judy's Judy. You know, she's, in a good way. All right, we're good with Dave. All right, gang. Dave, thank you so much.
Thank
Thanks
you
for the
very
breakfast.
much.
You know.
You're very welcome.
All right, gang. Anything you want to toss at us, Miss Heather Mirich, marketing rep, Rock Title?
Okay,
Yeah.
just real quick, because this meeting is gonna be about Rock Title with our wonderful escrow officers, over to my right. A couple of things, when you guys, need fees for your net sheets or your buyers, do you call me, or do you call the escrow officers, or email?
Escrow officers.
Ideally, it's the escrow officers. However, I'm happy to walk you through our NetSheet app. So we have it on our phone. So there's an app. It's on the computer, so you can go right there, plug in the information. But a lot of you, especially if you're newer or not technology savvy, maybe don't feel super confident, so you want to go to our escrow officers. They're happy to help you, right? 2 days ago, I got a text message at 6:30 in the morning. Hey, my buyers are shopping around fees. Can you just give me your fees real quick? And I'm like, that's when my alarm goes off, so I'm not like thinking numbers at that time. So I'm like, we can do that app, and as a sales executive, really my job is not to do numbers for you, but in a bind, I absolutely will. But sometimes I'm out in appointments or a C class, so don't always count on me. But our escrow officers are there, and they're there to help you. So they'll cover all that stuff with you. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Yay! But keep in mind, if you email, Sandra, hey Sandra, it's Tim, can you get me a net sheet? Knowing you guys, you want the answer in, less than 4 minutes, right? You want it back immediately. They're doing other stuff, they're doing escrow stuff and researching prelims and signing people. So you really need to learn the app that Rock Title has. It's a great app. Once you learn it, you'll run a net sheet in a minute.
A minute.
A minute.
And yesterday I had
Yeah.
an agent who's been an agent here for 20-some years, or in real estate for 20-some years. She didn't know how to use it. So on the phone with her, I just walked her through it, and we kind of like, okay, go here next, go here next. And when she was done, she had it. And then I did a class for a handful of you guys yesterday at 11, showed them how to use a net sheet. So it's really good to use, but I understand, like, sometimes that's good, sometimes you want to go through our escrow officer. So they're both available, but maybe not at 6:30 in the morning.
Right. Yeah. Me and Wendy have a listing that's coming up pretty soon. And we're going to do the net sheet on our phones. We're going to email it, say me, because I know the client, and I'm going to email it to the seller. Hey, Larry, attaches the net sheet from Rock Title, me and Wendy, blah, 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 talk to you soon. So create it on your phone, email it to yourself, and then compose an email to send that to your buyer or seller, okay? Or you can just text it to your client. If you don't, but I'm an email guy. I'm gonna do it on the phone, email it to me, and then I can compose a nice email with that net sheet. Haya?
I always use it. I use
Okay.
it when we do the buyer presentation and the listing presentation. And
Mhm.
then throughout the transaction, as we get offers, I send it to them with the offer so they can have their net at closing. And they love it. They always ask me, so can we have another one? What if we do this? And one of the features that it has is like if you turn around the phone when you do it, so it gives you the different options if it's $10,000 more or $10,000.
The sales
less.
price, you mean, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Sale price less, a little bit more, a little bit less, so that it gives them a better idea, because when they tell, well, this is what I want, and then, well, let me show you where we're at. And
Right.
It's really great. I've been using it forever.
And when your client gets it, it's coming from my email, but I'm going to say that Kathleen Lamarche did it. Or I'm getting at? It has one of the, there you go, right? But I'm saying, the cool thing about it, it has Rock Title on it, so you're the source of the source. It's not, you're not coming up with these numbers, they're from the title company. So they don't think you're just creating what the escrow fee is, or how much the title insurance fee is. It's there.
I'll just add a couple more things.
Okay, yeah, jump right in here.
Also, always say it's an estimate, right? So we don't know the payoff. The payoff, you guys, is different than a loan balance. Payoff's always higher. So make sure you guys know that. These are just estimates. You don't know the exact purchase price. You don't know if there's going to be contingencies. You don't know different things up front because you haven't got an offer yet to do it. And also, we use a couple different title companies, so the fees can be slightly different. And depending on and they can maybe answer this, but depending on if it's a cloud title or
Using
something.
as the insurer or underwriters, because they charge different amounts for their policies.
Yeah,
So the app, I think, goes on the higher spectrum of what the policies
because we'd
are.
rather overquote you than have it
Right.
come in to buy it later.
Because I think that one's based off of First American. We use Doma for the most part, who I think is less expensive than First American.
And I'm doing a class, I think it's end of August, it's either on the calendar or it's about to be on the calendar on all things with our net sheet. So you guys can all learn a little something. Thank you.
Yay!
So too, if you ask escrow about an estimate, email, what the commission splits are, is there an HOA, do you have a broker fee on there, home warranty, what do you want on it instead of just our fees? Because we can estimate that stuff on there as well and get a little bit tighter.
Thank you.
And again, it's an estimate, right?
Estimate.
That's the key. Just like John, the LOs give out a loan estimate. We give out a net sheet estimate. So, all right, gang. So we do this twice a year, Suze, 3 times a year. We bring the escrow officers in because it's always good to get. A lot of you don't even know what Kathleen looks like. or what Sarah ever looked like, right? Really? Yeah, because they don't, they come to our meetings every 6 or 7 months. So it's good to have them here. I got a list of questions that some of them came from you guys, some came from Maria. Wendy's on her way in. She's running a little bit late, so she'll jump in at the end here. But Sarah, come on, Kathleen. All right, come on, Sandra. You get a seat too here. Come on down. Come on. Let's see what we can stump the escrow officer.
We'll give Sandra a break. She just started with us.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, she's been here 3 days, right? 4 days? Yeah.
This is my 4th day.
All right, let's do this. Maybe, Sarah, you start. Just a quick bio. How long you been in the business? How long with Rock? All that stuff,
So my name is Sarah Martinez. I work in the Green Valley office. I've been in escrow for 25 years. I started in California. So I've been in Nevada, doing escrow in Nevada since 2013. And I've been with Rock Title for 5 years.
Wow. Okay.
I'm Kathleen Lamar, Senior Escrow Officer, Branch Manager at our Southwest Rock Title Office. I've been in escrow over 30 years. I've been with Rock for 4 years.
Hi, my name is Sandra Garrity. Started with Rock 4 days ago, and I've been in the business, known the business about 20 plus years as well.
Well, it's amazing. All of you have been in the business more than 20 years. Holy Jesus. Wow. So 75 years worth of experience. Crazy stuff. Okay. So what's the, let me ask you this, if you don't mind answering this. It's not one of the questions I sent you, but it just popped in my head. What's one or two of the things that we do that aggravates the crap out of you? No, really. What do we do that makes your job harder? Because we don't want to do that.
One would be maybe sending addendum 1 and 3, but we don't get 2. That would be one thing.
Yeah, addendums or just assuming escrow is going to order your resale package. That's not an escrow function. So if you want escrow to order your resale package, please let us know right away, because there's been maybe some miscommunication where maybe the realtor just assumes we would take care of it, but we don't. And a lot of the management companies today are getting a little bit more strict about only the sellers and the realtors are allowed to order the resale packages. It depends on the management company, so sometimes escrows don't even have access to order them anymore.
Right.
And sometimes they only want the sellers to order them. So if you want us to look into that, you have to let us know from the beginning.
Sure, that makes sense.
Too, with that, when you're talking to your sellers, they're understanding that they're paying for a resale package, but when we send out the links for the demand, I already paid for that.
Yes.
And then they get angry because now they gotta put out another $150, $200. So maybe if you could somehow integrate a heads up, there's gonna be sometimes 2 separate HOA charges upfront.
That's a good one. Yes.
Pet peeve, Sandra?
You know what, honestly, the transaction fees. Sometimes we can't get them until the end.
Oh.
To me, it's best to have it up front, so your client, when they see their settlement statements, they're right there. And they're not fluctuating, because sometimes we'll put $695, but maybe it's $1,000. So there's a difference there, where the buyer has to come in or the seller needs to.
And with that too, you need to disclose to the lender if there's a lender upfront charges, so.
You have to remember, again, the HOA resale package and the demand is really important. When do you guys order that?
Well, if I'm not closing until the end of August,
Right.
I'm gonna wait.
A little bit.
Beginning of August, hopefully, so it's
Okay.
current.
Okay.
But, and then a lot of agents don't like us to order until inspections, appraisals, so their client's not paying for an extra demand.
Gotcha. Okay.
And if you move up your escrow date, please let us know, because like Kathleen says, we kind of have a timeline when we order our demands. So the seller's not paying for the demand too fast and then something happens. But it gives us, if you're moving it up a week or 2, that does make a huge difference for escrow. So, because we still have demands like a payoff and the HOA demand, so if we have a better time frame, then we know, okay, we need to get this ordered right now, instead of waiting another couple of days, because it could take 7 to 10 days to get a demand. And we don't want the seller to pay a rush fee.
Sure. How long is the demand good for? Really a short window, right? It's a relatively short window, right?
To be paid for, some of them expire, a couple weeks
Right.
if the seller doesn't pay it. The
Okay. And what's the typical cost of a demand?
150 minimum.
Okay. Again, you guys need to know that when you talk to your seller. That's part of the listing agreement that they have to pay for that, okay? And the same thing with the resale package. What's a typical resale package cost?
Those are more of the 200 mark.
Over 200,
Right.
Over.
I say over 200, how about 200?
Yeah, well, one was in for 189, but anyway, I'd say 2 to 250 for those.
And when it's ordered, it has to be paid for, correct? So that's why a lot of times it's hard for them to order it unless you want, Sarah to put it on her credit card.
They charge interest though. That
Yeah.
150 might go up to 300, I don't know.
Yeah.
I have a question on those demands. Is that on the estimated fee sheet that you would give a net
I
sheet?
just throw 250
Okay,
on each
yeah.
side because I don't know how much the dues are. And generally the seller pays a transfer fee or setup fee, so I'll put a $400 on that.
Okay. So if
As
they
an
do the net
estimate.
sheet out themselves,
They
they should
should,
put it under
at least if your
miscellaneous.
seller's gonna pay the transfer, throw that in there. Cause it's usually 350 is the average.
And it's paid outside of escrow,
Yeah.
right? So it's paid up front, so.
And it goes for every so if there's multiple HOA, you have to order a
Yes.
resale package for master and like Las Vegas has multiple HOAs, sometimes they have 3. You have to order for each one. So that's another thing with some sellers, like I already paid for it, you might pay for your master, but there's a sub also, and the same thing, you have to get a resale package and a demand. So it might be double that amount. So if you have multiple HOAs, you have to pay for each package and each demand.
So today is July 24th. We open up escrow today. You order the HOA resale package August 10th. And then the deal dies. It falls apart. How long is that resale package good for?
Don't know about the resale package, you guys would know more about that, but our
Okay.
demand, cause we don't get the resale, we don't need it, it's not.
Do you guys know how long it's good for?
90 days.
90 days.
Not really necessary, because when you call.
All right, we're not in Germany now. We're not in Germany, okay? I mean, I'm just saying,
I just had a case where the title company said it's good for 90 or 30 days, but then it was only good for 20 days, so we.
Said who? Said who?
The HOA, the HOA, who to send it up.
I'd fight that like hell if I was the seller.
Maybe
Yeah.
just update the
The financials part of it?
financial end, yeah, I mean, 20 days is.
That's
nothing.
insane. No, that's crazy.
You know, most escrows don't close in 20 days.
Right.
It was expensive.
Yeah.
It was like 400.
But these are all little things, gang, that, on the RPA, there's, I don't know what page it is, 4 or 5. It has the 6 boxes with the CIC capital contribution and the, those boxes. And as a buyer, we all put seller, right? We put seller in all 6 of those boxes, okay? They can be counted back. And the seller, no, I ain't paying any of this stuff. You pay the transfer, Mr. Buyer, okay? You have to have an idea what those fees are for your buyer. And I would guess hire those 6 boxes, or Doug, or whoever's here. What do they add up to? Those 6 things we want the seller to pay. Yeah, I know, but if I'm the buyer, what would you say? Yeah, okay, good. I would tell my buyer, look, this is $1,000 worth of fees that typically the seller pays, but they don't have to. Everything is negotiable. So just keep that in mind, Mr. Buyer. Because if that comes back and they counter it, who are they going to blame? You. You can blame for everything, okay? That's it. Call me. Yeah, don't call me. Don't call me. Okay. So it's important that you cover the demand, you cover the HOA resale package with both parties, okay? What about if there's a trust involved? Like, should the agent call you when they know there's a trust, that they have a buyer that's buying in the trust? Should they send you the trust docs in advance of an offer to look at them, or?
The trust agreement for buyers and sellers. If there's a loan on the property and they're buying in the trust, they need to get it approved through their lender. Us in escrow, we don't care how they take title. But if there's a loan, they definitely need to get it approved.
So if I'm the buyer's agent and it's being bought in Suarez LLC, what do I tell my buyer I need?
Copy of the operating agreement.
Yeah, the LLC documents.
Right.
Make sure it's still valid through the state of Nevada or whatever state's it in. It has to be in good standings with that state.
Okay.
Because we've had people will send us LLCs and then they're not in good standing, and we can't close on documents that are not in good standing with the state. So we have to make sure your LLC is still in good standing.
And then isn't there some?
They basically have to pay the state
Yeah.
their license fees to bring your car.
As a matter of fact, we happen to have a handout here, gang.
Yeah, there's a cheat sheet on what you need if it's in a trust, probate, LLC. Now, still talk to your escrow officers to make sure you guys are on the same page, that this isn't a special situation, and make sure it's reviewed up front. But it is a nice little handout when
Yeah.
you're talking to somebody.
That was a nice little one. I mean,
Well-
it's information.
Isn't there something that happens with an LLC where one person signs the RPA, but there's other members that are part of the LLC that could affect the
Yeah.
deal moving forward?
Yeah, so
How does that
once-
work?
Yeah, so once we get the LLC document and we know there's multiple members, and it depends on how the LLC is explained, because one member might be authorized to sign on behalf of all members, but if they're not, then yes, all members do have to sign, if it doesn't state clearly in your LLC documents.
But you can look into having like a corporate resolution
Yeah.
signed by all members stating that John Smith can sign on behalf of.
How many of you know what a corporate resolution is? I don't even know what that is. I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't know what it is, I have an idea, okay? So a lot of times you'll come to me and Wendy with that, and automatically we say, call up Sandra, send it over to Sarah, get Kathleen on the phone. Just get it over to them, because you want to cover this in the beginning, not at the end. Because if something blows up at the end, they're gonna blame you.
Your compliance you need as well as we do, who's supposed to be signing, right?
That would be nice, you know, yeah, we have the correct people signing.
Something page,
For the what?
something page 9 on page 4, something.
But on the LLCs or? I mean, every LLC is different, so there's not like a certain page, it's not like, yeah, it's not a standard, yeah.
But that's why we need the whole operating agreement, because it's from start to finish, and it should name out all the members, managers, who's capable. And then we have title review it, and they tell us if it's acceptable or what we need on those and trust agreements.
Okay. What if we have I take a listing, and the sellers are husband and wife, but one has passed away, and the son has a power of attorney to sign. He lives in Kentucky. And he calls me up, hey Tim, I'm going to sign it. I have the power of attorney. Can you list my mother's house?
Is it power of attorney for somebody deceased or still alive?
Still alive, who's incapacitated, or whatever the reason might be. Do you guys want to see that power of attorney in advance?
We do need a copy
Yes.
of it, and we'll need the original to record, plus we have a questionnaire that needs to be answered
Okay.
as to why we're using it, and then we have to run it through title. 'Cause
Okay.
That's a huge fraud thing.
Up front.
Upfront, yeah, upfront, because our title department might come back and say, well, we need doctor's notes, we need, it
Depends on
depends
what
on,
the
it depends on the power of attorney, it depends on, we could go all day with that, but yeah, it's.
So
they
the
might not,
minute
they
they
might not
bring-
even accept, yeah, so it just depends on.
The minute
power
they
of
bring
attorney.
up that they're the power of attorney right then and there, you need to get it.
I would ask for, I would
Immediately.
say, I would ask for the power of attorney, and then whoever you work with, have them send it over, and be like, and see what they say. Cause our title department will review it and let us know, like, okay, this is what's bringing concerns to us, and then we'll let you know, like, this is what we need to close escrow.
Here's a quick thing that they're going to look at. Why are we using a power of attorney? Mom has dementia.
Okay.
When did mom sign this power of attorney 2 weeks ago? Well,
Yeah.
If mom has
chances are mom
dementia,
wasn't in good state of mind to sign this, so that would be a big no-no there.
okay.
Yeah,
Do they sometimes need like medical documents too?
yeah.
Like from the doctors or physicians?
Two separate doctors, two letterheads, 2 letters stating that they're not capable.
Okay.
Standard letter, like, that the doctors use to do that, or do we submit it to the doctor and have them sign it, or?
No, you have to request it.
Yeah.
And then we'll usually just say, Sally Sue is unable to sign, or I do not believe she's capable of making financial, they all say their own thing, but they make their statement.
I have a question, because I'm going through it now. I wanted to use Rock, but, so the seller had the wife had a power of attorney for the husband, because the husband was starting to get dementia. The husband passed away. We're in escrow right now. Do they just need the death certificate and any other future documents she just signs?
Depending on how they took title. Hopefully they took title as joint tenants.
Yes.
If they did, then yes, a death certificate. And then an affidavit terminating joint tenants will be filed through the escrow.
Crystal clear, right?
Well, I'm just wondering, any further documents, she's not signing for him anymore because he's deceased, so.
He'll be
that's it.
removed
Yeah.
through this affidavit, which happened through the escrow, so it'd just be her signing.
Okay. The point of this, gang, is when you meet a seller, a lot of them want to get the house on the market tomorrow, right? They don't want to wait 2 days or 2 weeks. But you have to be the valued advisor and explain to them, we have to take a step back and do this right before it comes back and bites us in the butt 2 weeks from now. And sometimes they don't want to hear that, you know, and you might lose the client. Hopefully you won't. You'll explain it in a way that makes sense. But all of these things, LLC docs, power of attorney, getting them to the escrow officers in advance is really, really important, okay? It really, really is, okay? Have you seen many of these deals that the offer says, you know, Kelly Enterprises and or assignees, and then during escrow it gets sold 2 or 3 times? Does that come across your desk, or you don't see it until the end? You know what I'm saying?
Are you talking about the like LLC?
Oh, I buy the house, but on the offer it says, you know, Tim Kelly Kiernan as the purchaser and or assignees, and I'm closing in 2 months. But my goal is to sell it in those 2 months. I don't want to close it in my name.
So you got buyer A, then you're gonna have buyer B.
Right.
Well, we can, however,
Yeah, that's a lot of.
when buyer B comes into play, your seller and any lender, if there's involved, they all will have to be notified and sign. And it all depends on the agreement, your assignment agreement that you give to us to review. So there's things, criteria, but everything has to be upfront to all parties involved.
Yeah,
From the beginning to the end.
the key to that, gang, is if you're on the listing side and you get an offer like that, just show it to Wendy or me or whoever and let us take a look at it. Because we have a deal now where it changed sellers 3 times, buyers 3 times before close of escrow.
Yeah.
And the agent never put anything in Skyslope. Nothing. Until it closed. Exactly. You talk about E&O insurance, I mean.
You're using this person's money throughout each transaction. And so this first buyer, the second buyer, they don't have to put in any money other than maybe the initial EMD. So everybody has to be disclosed because you're shuffling somebody's money from one person to the next down the chain. And then the seller needs to know that you bought it for $100,000 and sold it to you for 110 and sold it to you for 120. So now the seller could have made 120 in the beginning. So that could be.
So you just got to be careful those kind of, if you see those deals, or even if you represent an investor that wants to do that, I'm not saying don't work with the investor, but just be aware that these could be red flags, E&O insurance could kick in or not kick in based on how the deal winds up going, okay? What about solar? Do you guys get involved with helping us out with solar, if it's a solar deal? Do you want to help us with that? No, I'm kidding.
That's when we do solar. We order, well, first of all, we need to find out whether or not the seller's going to pay off the solar. Should be brought up also in your contract and should be, talk to your seller. Or if the seller is gonna transfer it to the buyer. Buyer has to contact the solar company to start the process as well as the solar, as well as the seller. So they can start the process of transferring over to the buyer as well. But it's something that, yes, they would be doing between themselves. We would order pay off if, of course, the seller's gonna be paying off solar.
So that's outside of escrow then?
No, it's during your process of escrow.
A lot of the solar companies only want to communicate with the sellers and buyers. They don't want escrow involved because they're the ones who's assuming over the loan. So there's a lot of pre-approval that a buyer has to go through. So a lot of them just want to communicate with each other. A lot of sellers will authorize escrow to give them a call to find out status, if there's missing anything. But a lot of this,
Which they should do in the beginning.
yeah, they should do that in the beginning because if the seller's not getting the seller documents, we can call and find out, and they can kind of give us status of what's going on with the solar, and then we can give you guys an update. But a lot of the solar companies really want to communicate with the buyers and sellers at the beginning. Just have your client maybe authorize this, so they can send us the UCC termination
Which will require
to close escrow.
Mhm.
You have to have that.
Gotcha, okay.
And sometimes solar's not recorded on the property either.
Right, and then-
So, I mean, I closed a deal where there was a solar, and the buyer and seller the buyer assumed it, but I didn't need anything, because it wasn't recorded, so I was like, that's between you two, I'm gonna excuse myself, because I don't need anything I can close without it. So, sometimes it's not always recorded on the property. Which
Interesting.
I don't know why, but.
Well, I think a lot of it too,
Yeah.
because some of these solar companies have gone out of business,
Yeah.
other solar companies purchase them, they've gotten released and not put back on
Yeah.
perhaps, or refinance, or for some
Something, yeah.
reasons.
Who really
Dismissed.
knows, yeah.
And with, letting escrow know, like on your contract, another thing is special assessments, SIDs, LIDs.
Mhm.
We need to know, I'm seeing a few of those pop back up, I haven't seen them on properties for a while. But we need to know, is the seller gonna pay it off, or is your buyer going to assume? So that's another thing that really needs to be on the contract as well, instructing us what to do.
Who knows the website for a Realty One Group t-shirt? What's the website you go to for your seller to see if they owe money? God, you're killing me.
AMVs.
There you go. Oh, you cheat out. No, you don't get a T. All right, we'll give you a T. AMGNV.com. It's on the listing agreement.
On the top.
It's on the listing agreement to help you guys. GNV.
AMGNV.com.
Right. You go there, put in the address or something.
Limit will be on it.
Yeah.
Huh?
The prelim will have it on there.
The prelim will have it on it too. Right. Okay. I got you.
It's like bypassing your loan department, your servicing department?
No, you just put in your parcel number.
Oh, yeah, I've been on there.
Yeah.
It'll tell you the balance.
Okay, the teacher's right there.
On the top.
For the SIDs and the LIDs.
Oh, for the SID.
It's been on the listing agreement for a decade, gang. Hopefully you've seen it and you've mentioned that to your seller. If they have SIDs and lids, it's on there for that reason, okay? So you know what the balance is. So, because they don't know what the balance is, right?
Yeah, right.
Well, they have an idea, but they don't know what it is, you know. So speaking of prelims, so we order the prelim, you email it to us. We all read it thoroughly, correct? Right? We all read the whole thing, Doug, right? You read them all the time, right?
All the time.
Front to back, okay? Okay. If there's something on there, does someone at Rock catch it for us in case we don't?
I hope we do.
I know. Okay. But you guys peruse it is my point, right? You guys
Yeah, we have to check it.
check it. There, yeah.
Because the title commitment will tell us if the seller owes anything on the property, if there's any liens. It gives us who, the ownership of the property. I've had an escrow where only 2 sellers signed the purchase agreement and there was really 4 sellers. So, that's a red flag. Well, so I just emailed the agent, I said, hey, according to the prelim, I'm showing 4 sellers. And she didn't understand that. She just thought, since the 2 sellers lived in the property, and the other 2 looked at it, they didn't have to sign anything. I said, no, that doesn't work like that. They're owners of the property, so it tells us what's going on the, so if there's liens or anything like that, of course, we have to address that to get that paid for.
And there's a red flag alert, right?
That goes on from
Yeah, and when I ask you guys for a prelim or a CMA, then you always give me know before you list, and that's when you normally address it, right? When there's a lien on it.
Those are pulled of what Clark County has a record. Our title commitments go into deeper searches into the courts as well, IRS, child support, things like that.
Okay.
And then that's when you see that when we start requesting statements of information. Because you got a John Smith who's very common and we have to clear their names.
Singing judgments.
If you look at our title commitments, Schedule B, Section 1, and you read through that, that's telling you what we have to look for in there. Title tells us what we need, seller's trust, or LLC documents, an uninsured deed affidavit, bankruptcy, divorce, that will all pull up in that section. And that's kind of our Bible, what we need to look at to start asking your sellers or client buyers for information.
So can
Spousal
we
deeds.
ask, can we order before the listing?
For a title commitment? Yes, please do.
Prim.
Prelim only,
That's
If
how you
you're
get a
taking a
discount
listing,
too. That's how you get a discount too.
if you're taking a listing, you can email us, ask us to open a prelim only, and then put in the MLS the certain verbiage. And if you get your escrow to Rock Title, then both buyer and seller get the 30% discount on their escrow fee. But the prelim, that will show more than just the know before you list. That is just a quick, what's of record with Clark County.
So once you get the RPA and everything, how quickly, we send it to you on Monday. When does the buyer's agent get the prelim from you?
Hopefully within 3 days.
A day or 2 or 3, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless it's really, really bad.
Yes, yes.
It'll take longer
Yeah,
for
if
searching.
the title commitment's taking a long time, then we know
Or
there's
if
a
you
lot on
have
there.
four sellers that have the most common name on earth, those take longer to search.
Yeah.
So Thursday, when we get the email with the prelim, what are we supposed to do with it, gang?
Read it.
Read it.
Okay. What else?
Check the name.
Send it to the buyer.
Yes, send it to your client, right? Because they're going to sign a piece of paper that said you sent it to them.
So,
You know?
because I'm not sure, you guys use Qualia, right?
Qualia.
Qualia. They're also on it. Do you guys send it to them too, or we get it and have to send it to them? Because since you guys changed to Qualia, you're taking your buyer's information.
But the
Are they-
buyers don't always go in there and look, even though
Yeah.
they can get a copy.
You know.
That is like it's confusing portals for people.
Yes.
I know,
I
because
don't
we deal
like
with
those
them all the
portals.
time and have to try to figure them out. So I find that a lot of buyers and sellers get very confused on what they're doing in there unless they're very techy, then it's like easy for them. I don't think most escrow officers send out prelims to buyers and sellers. So you're
I just
probably
didn't know if it
better
was an
forwarding
automatic
it
thing
yourself.
that they're getting because you're taking on it.
I mean, when they come in to sign their documents,
We
you
do
know,
have
we
them.
we do put a copy in there, and we have a form too where they have to sign saying that they received a copy, but at the beginning, no, we normally don't send it out to them.
Yeah, that's our responsibility, gang, to send that out.
When we get the prelim and we review it, you as a listing agent or selling agent, we're gonna start saying, hey, we need a statement of information, or there's an uninsured deed affidavit, so you're gonna be made aware of it at that point too.
So you mentioned the statement of information. I thought every deal that went out to the clients. That's not the case?
Some escrow officers do, some don't.
Okay.
Once again, we have our qualia, if they're doing what they're supposed to, they put information in there. And I think that for me, a lot of clients have to do so much paperwork as it is, I don't ask on everyone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless it's needed.
Gotcha.
then
Okay.
I do.
But you guys as agents, you might want to mention that to your buyer, that you might get an email from Rock Title with a statement of information. Well, what is that, Tim? Do they want to know my firstborn, or they want my fingerprints? And
Pretty much, yeah.
yeah, pretty much. So you can make a joke of it and say, yeah, it's one of these forms that these crazy escrow officers send out all the time. I'm sorry, but you have a common last name,
They're gonna reach out to you
Uh-huh.
directly because you guys don't want their information. I mean, that's just more risk that you're taking, you take on their personal information.
Correct, because when it comes from Rock Title and they don't know what it is, they don't call Rock Title. They call you.
And sometimes the lender will handle it. When I was a lender and you have a name like John Smith, they could have child support, all this stuff would come up, and they're like, not my client, they don't have tax liens, I don't think, they would have told me. So you have to get this form up front, but it's 10 years of everywhere they've lived, or everywhere they work, no one wants to fill that out, but you have to clear that that's not actually them that had that lien, past child support, IRS lien, et cetera, so.
That, and they want like your former spouse's name.
Yeah.
Because something could be tied in that way. And we ask for a lot of information when we need to, but we don't.
Gotcha, okay. All right, gang, we have time for a couple more questions. Let's say we're closing next Friday, and the seller's already signed and we represent the buyer. What are you guys waiting for to get my buyer in to sign? Loan docs. Right, loan docs, right? Okay. So you're the buyer's agent. You got to call John Morgan, say, John, where are the loan docs? So you get the loan docs on Tuesday. Okay, and sometimes we don't know that you got them. Do you call my buyer? Do you call me? How do we get the buyer in?
Call the agent, make sure, of course, our CD is balanced.
Right.
Send out an email to the agent with the settlement statement saying, here, please review, let us know when either get a reply saying, hey, can you please reach out to the buyer? Then we'll go ahead immediately and schedule the buyer in.
Okay.
To get it all ready.
So we're signing next Monday at 10. We go in with the buyer. Are you guys signing them or another notary for Rock Title?
One of our notaries.
One of the notaries. You're there in the building, but you're not signing them, right?
Correct.
Sometimes.
I mean,
Oh, something, yeah? Oh, do you? Depends?
It depends on how much we're on the bench, or.
Okay.
Who the client is.
Or you pop in and say hello so they know who you are because they've been communicating with you? Okay. So they sign Wednesday morning at 10, and our buyer comes back and says, all right, Tim, what happens now? When do I get paid? You guys ever come up to me with that question after they sign? All the time. You know, what happens after they sign? Like the steps, so the agents know. Uh-huh.
We'll process the file, send it to the lender, deal with the lender.
Usually the same day, right? Usually the same day if it's in the morning?
It's the same day,
Right.
closing, yes.
Right.
If not, throughout the couple of days before the closing date, but we'll make sure that we have everything done by then.
Okay.
Fund the file. Once the file is funded, send it to record. We get everybody's okay first, of course. All agents will send out an email stating, okay, we're ready to go. Is everybody ready? We'll get the emails back. We'll get the wire, lender's wire. Of course, we need buyer's money as well. From there, once all of that is done, everybody's given the okay, we'll send the file to record. Once file is recorded, we get confirmation. We will balance the file. And we have up to 24 hours. If it's not the same day, the next business day, we will disperse on the file and distribute commissions as well, whether it's a wire or a check, depending on what you mark off on your commission instructions.
So when the buyer signs Wednesday at 10 and leaves, and they're thrilled, they took a picture with you guys and they're all excited, and they say to our agent, well, when do I get the keys? Because they think that some of them think they get the keys right there, right? They signed, give me my keys. In New Jersey, I got the keys. Here we don't give them the keys. And sometimes, but of course you guys have told them that, right, in advance. So they're not pissed off that they don't get the keys, right? So they sign Wednesday at 10, you send it to record Wednesday afternoon, and it records Thursday by 2. Then we're done, right?
We'll send out
An email, right?
recorded confirmation.
Right, okay.
Letting the agents know, thank you for, congratulations, we've recorded.
The recording emails go out when it happens during the day, or they all go out at 4:45?
Well, once we have the confirmation.
When it happens?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
When it happens.
Okay. Because I think some title companies in the past used to send them all at like 5 o'clock.
Oh.
You know, it was crazy, yeah, you know.
End of the month, we get it before 5 o'clock.
Exactly.
And
That's
it
what,
depends on to the county recorder, like, we have no control over the,
yeah.
title and escrow have no control over the county, so it could be an hour, it could be 3 hours, it could be 4 hours, we just don't know how long it takes, how fast the county's recording, it depends on how many recordings they have. So, we could set it down at 12, or might not get confirmation until 4, it just
Right.
depends on how fast the
Sometimes
county's
you won't
moving.
get it till 6.
Yeah.
Right. Or the next day even, right?
I'll
Yeah.
personally try to watch my email
Yeah.
on my phone, even if I'm not in the office, say,
Sure.
we'll record it at least so the buyer can get their.
I got you. Okay. All right, gang. Anybody have any questions they want to throw at the ladies before they leave? Anything you're dying to find out? Maria, give us something to throw at the escrow officers. Anything on you?
I had a property with a private
Oh,
elevator,
Steph.
and I had to get an inspection done so that the elevator gets an inspector, and then the new buyers had to send it to, they had to get recorded somehow on the title, but I sent it to the title company, they didn't really
It's like
care about it. So
personal
how does it work
property.
with private and elevators, with the recording on the title?
That's like personal property, so that's, we go.
Nah.
I mean, I closed one with an elevator, but they had to get it inspected, but there was nothing that had to get
Right, yeah.
recorded.
No.
Okay.
I mean, I know the buyer was really picky about it getting, make sure it was working.
Yeah, the inspector
correctly.
gave me a form which I
Yeah.
had to give to the buyer, and he has to send it to the.
To Clark County recorder?
Yeah. And I sent it to the title company.
It's not like a financing statement or anything, there's no
Just the
money due on
inspection
it?
that the elevators
I've
say.
never heard of anything like
Yeah,
that.
I-
Because we're not like insured
Yeah.
in our title insurance, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it looks like nobody knows
So-
anything about this.
That doesn't, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think that affects you guys at all, if there's an elevator
Okay.
or not. Nah, no one could care
That would
less.
be more of a hazard to your fire insurance.
And stuff like that, yeah. Okay, gotcha. All right, kids, anybody else? Last one? Go ahead, Heather. Hit us with it.
I'll just add that I do hear from you guys, we want escrow officers that are gonna pick up their phone. And then sometimes I say, well, they could be in a signing, they could be trying to rush to get something out recorded. and they can't always answer the phone because you don't know who's on the other end, if it's gonna be a 30-minute conversation, and then they can't get that recorded, right? So sometimes I say email, because you guys are usually in front of your computers, hey, quick question, can you please give me a call? Generally, you guys can then, I mean, is that how you guys would run your desk generally? Like, will you always answer your phone, or
No.
prefer
No.
the email and like, please call me when you have a minute, it's urgent, it's not
Try to
urgent?
return as quickly as
Yeah.
possible, but it's not always possible. I'm not always sitting right there at my desk all day long. Sometimes I have to run down the hall and use the restroom.
I hate when that happens, right?
How dare you? You know, sometimes we're with clients or with other
yeah.
people. I mean, I do try to return your call within an hour,
But
you
email's
know,
the best form of
Yeah.
communication, and you do
Yeah,
check
Yeah,
your
because a
email.
lot of times you could be on the phone and answering questions too, like, or signing a notary or something.
Yeah.
So email's the best, correct?
yeah.
For me, plus everybody has tracking of what a conversation is on top of it. That you could go back to, wait, what did they say? Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, we will return your calls. If you need a fast answer, sometimes an email, or just say, hey, can you just give me a call, I have a quick question. And it's just, every escrow officer is different,
Yeah.
how they run their desk.
Yeah.
So I only can speak on my behalf.
I just try to defend you guys why you can't always pick up your
Right.
phone.
Yeah.
Because email is sometimes
I mean,
quick, and then if it is urgent, I'm sure you guys will do everything in your power to call them
Same
back.
token when we call an agent.
Yeah.
They don't
Yeah.
always pick up the phone.
Stop it. Never. Stop.
Okay, I'm gonna follow up with an email,
Yeah.
and then you get an answer
I mean, if the
sometimes
escrow
quicker to that.
If we're
Or
calling you, then we
texting.
really need to talk to you.
Exactly, yeah.
If the escrow's calling you, please call us back.
Yeah. You guys get something out of this today, I hope? Yeah, good stuff. I mean, it's funny, here at Realty One Group, we don't force you guys to use anybody, Rock or Epic. I wish we would force you to use them, to be honest with you. Because a lot of you come up to me during the month, hey Tim, Mary at Mary's Title isn't getting me the HUD, and we're closing tomorrow, and my buyer doesn't know what to bring in, or every 3 or 4 times a month when you guys have trouble with another title company, with something. I'm not saying that they're not going to mess up. They're going to mess up. I mean, they're human, okay? But we can get them on the phone pretty quick. I can't get Ellen at Equity Title on the phone real quick, probably. You know, she's not going to take my call.
So if I call Brad Murray,
Yeah.
he picks up, it's
Yeah.
the weekend, he picks up, he's had, but some of these other companies, like, it's an assistant, and then their team, and it's like 3 or 4 people
Yeah.
attached, I'm like, okay, now who am I talking
Yeah,
to?
yeah.
Is that
And especially if you're taking your listing and they pulled a prelim for you and they did all this stuff prior to the listing and you put the verbiage in agent remarks about getting a discount, and then the offer comes over and it says Ellen from Ellen's Title, and you don't counter that, that's wrong. You got to counter that with Rock Title, okay? It's the right thing to do. Now, if you counter back and forth and it winds up with another title, so be it. Okay, but too many of you will just shit. The buyer wants ABC Title. I'm just going to take that, and it's your listing, and Rock did all this work for you. If you get my point.
We can't counter it out, we have the seller.
Sure, you can.
You can't counter.
It can't be the only thing you
Yeah.
counter. Right. It can't be the last thing.
I always counter.
Yes.
You know, I've been using Laura for several years now, and she's wonderful. She texts me like, we needed to get something, and she couldn't get a hold of me, so she sent me a text. She says, I need you to do this for me. And, she's wonderful. She
Right.
answers after hours, at least sends a text.
Right.
because Her phone, she says her phone is connected to
Sure.
herself, so she can answer.
How many of the escrows are bilingual? Can I assume you are? No, you not. I didn't think you were. Laura is. You are.
Is,
Right.
But then we have Cecilia entitled, Junior entitled.
Right. Okay.
Who will jump on the phone for us if we need to
Translate. Okay.
Which languages?
I'm sorry?
Which language?
Which language?
Spanish.
Spanish.
English and Spanish, yes.
They're all Spanish. Me?
No. Easy.
I had a realtor reach out, and we won the listing, or the escrow, because Kathleen was able to find a notary that spoke, I don't remember what language.
It was Korean.
Korean.
Yeah.
So we
Wow.
have notaries that we can find for your clients for specific languages. Maybe not all of them,
But,
most.
yeah.
most.
I mean, we do have companies that have
Bilingual.
bilingual.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I work with a company that they can find a notary for a lot of languages.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question here. we're gonna be working with people in China sending referrals here. And do you do the wire, can you do the wire transfer for a referral in China? Have you had
Wire
those
transfer to China for a referral.
Yeah, and you know, and we have all
Well,
the other details, but I
actually,
need
with
to.
Realty One, you guys like to handle the referrals yourself here.
Yeah, like a referral fee?
Yeah, but
So
they said that
they
that.
have a listing, let's say, as an example, they have a listing and they're gonna refer, they have a referral agreement, and that agent is in China. So we have the W-8 and all of that
Yeah.
stuff, all we need is when you guys disperse to wire to
What I
China.
would do is get their wire instructions with their SWIFT code, send it to Laura or whatever, and we could run it through our accounting department to make sure we're able to wire to that.
So the brokerage firm is in China? Or the agent is in China?
Well, the person, because they're in China, they don't have what we have.
Right, so we can't, correct me if I'm wrong, we can't wire money to an agent, right?
No, you guys
To an
don't.
international company that doesn't
Yes.
use brokerage as we do.
Okay,
Because
Yeah,
we
we
do that
already
to
checked on
Canada
that.
all the time.
Yeah,
Okay.
and, you know, and I know that there's some title companies that can do that because it has to be wired directly
Well,
from
we could
the.
wire international, but to be safe, before you say yes, I would get their wire instructions and we could run it through our bank, our
Yeah,
accounting
well,
department, and
what I
just sign
wanted
it up
also
for.
to know is, you know, because I know there's specific institutions that you can wire internationally to, you don't wire to just any institution.
Right.
So we need to know also that, because, you know, we already checked with Maria what has to be done, but it has to be wired directly from title. It cannot be sent from.
That's where we would need to verify the
Right.
wire instructions.
Yeah.
To make sure we're capable.
Okay.
Which I know we do outgoing international, so I don't see why we wouldn't, as long as the bank is vettable through the whole process. Cause it will go through a bank that vets that bank before, kinda like the Federal Reserve.
Right.
All that stuff, so I'm pretty sure we can, but I would just be safe, cause I'd hate to have funds stuck here.
yeah,
Because the bank, you know.
don't want that, right, okay. Alrighty, gang, a little round of applause, thank you, ladies. Sandra, welcome to Realty One Group, okay? Thank you all for being here, gang. Hey, good night, Gavin, see you.